We've learned from Pastor Terry about the importance of our life platform as it relates to growing seasonally. What I'd like to explore as we take this into our everyday lives is a life application that we'll call the Life Seasons app. It's only fitting that we're here among a vineyard, as Jesus used the example of the vine and the vineyards many times throughout his teaching. And of course, a vineyard knows the tests and the trials of all seasons, but somehow manages to bear fruit over and over. So let's start with planting. There are no vines and there are no grapes without some form of planting. Someone must get down and dirty to plant a seed with hopes of one day tasting the outcome and good fruit of the labor. Nowhere is the adage of what goes in is what comes out better used than in the metaphor of planting seeds and an eventual harvest. We want the best to come from us, so that means we must pay close attention to what we're planting within us. For sure, the world has no shortage of its own seeds: online material, media messages, TV shows, songs, books, pictures, diversions, activities. These are all seeds that can get planted within us and sometimes get very, very deeply rooted. Why is what we plant so important? Well, because if we're planting the wrong seeds, then by the time of harvest, it can be too late to change, and we can miss opportunities. Are you wondering what you're planting? Well, let's try this exercise to find out. Sit down with your calendar and your credit card statement, or maybe your checkbook, and look over the last 3 months to see where your time and money is being spent. Wherever your time and money is going, those are good indicators of the seeds that are being planted. After planting, then comes the growing season. We have to trust that if we've planted the right seeds and are doing all the right things to water, nourish, and cultivate growth, that what is happening below the surface, the stuff we can't see, is going to be successful. All of our Bible time, our prayer time, our fellowship time, the disciplines of our mind. Just because our growth seems slower than we want it to be, doesn't mean that we should give up and just stagnate. Our growing and our maturity only comes from whatever time it's supposed to take. And then, of course, we must do our part by not ignoring what is happening around us. If we want growth to occur, then we have to be sure we're keeping away those things that might stop or stunt our growth. Most of the time, we know what those things are in our lives, and too many times it comes down to whether or not we are committed and disciplined enough to weed out the bad before it feels too overgrown to tackle. So, along with our growing time, it's also time to do some tending, time to do some weeding, time to do some cleanup. And that brings us to our harvest season. This can be quick. It's the best time of our lives. It's when all of the choices, the hard work, the trust, and the patience, they all pay off. Our work, our relationships, our body, our mind, our spirit, they all feel strong, and we feel like we're bringing glory to God. But here's a little something to remember. Harvests, they can come and go quickly. Sometimes we harvest big, and other times we have small harvests, but they can all be just as good. So let's enjoy the harvest that we're in, but remember, even at the same time, someplace else in our lives, we're still planting and we're growing in anticipation. It's also good to rest, and that in itself can be a season to be attentive and also enjoy. Consider that God gave us the day of rest, the day of Sabbath, not because He was tired, but because He wanted to give us an example that it was more than okay to take a rest day at least once a week. Land that doesn't rest runs out of the needed nutrients to keep things growing. We need to maybe consider some rest right now so that we can replant, grow, and harvest with enthusiasm and excitement. So how about this? How about a digital Sabbath from Saturday night sundown to Sunday night sundown? Just put the phone away, put the screen away, and come Sunday night, there's still plenty of room and time to get ready for Monday morning work. Plant, grow, harvest, rest. 4 important parts of our Life Seasons app. Let's do our best this week to apply how we can seasonally grow.